People, welcome back to GNA TV and Chelsea Fan TV. And as Lewis said in the chat, lateness is greatness. It's been a while, guys. I've not been on for the last week. I've been in Madrid the last 4 days as well. Had a nice, messy break over there. And I've kind of just been avoiding anything to do with Chelsea up to this point, especially on the last game again. We lost 2-0 to Brentford, which I didn't watch. I thought it was quite shocking, as I was obviously away as well. But it feels good to be back. It feels good to be obviously talking about Chelsea. Maybe not in the greatest circumstances because we are not in any real great form at the moment. But we have got Arsenal. They are a rival. They have bottled the league, it feels like. They have bottled the league, which makes me a bit happy because they're giving it all the big uns, as they always do. But, yeah, we're going to talk about that. And we've got the panel to come in. We've got team lineups. We're going to talk about Frank Lampard's interview yesterday, team news, head-to-heads, everything. All the usual stuff that we go through is back on here again. But do me a favor in the meantime. Smash the likes, guys. Subscribe if you're new to both GNA TV and Chelsea Fan TV as well. We're going to do match predictions later in the show as well. And let's cue that intro. People, welcome back to GNA TV and Chelsea Fan TV. And I want to firstly start by saying, hope you guys have had a absolutely blessed week. It feels weird not actually being on every 2 to 3 days or 1 day, which I'm usually am, but just peak, guys. It just feels absolutely peak being a Chelsea fan at the moment, you know? It's not fun. It's not fun, but it's good to be back on here. Do you know what I mean? It's good to be back on here with you guys, to at least talk a bit on Chelsea. What is Lampard going to do? How is he going to line up? How is he going to line up? How is he going to... Oh, Jesus. Delete. Sorry, guys. I just done something I didn't mean to do. I sent Lewis the link. As I sent him like 400 email messages. All right, cool, bro. He's messaging me back. He's in the gym. No worries. I need to go gym, Lewis, bro. I need to go gym as well, man. I've not been in gym for the last 4 days in Madrid. Yeah, but how is everyone? Nearly 100 people in the chat already. Big up to you guys. I hope you guys have been blessed. Let's go through the chat before we start getting into everything to do with Chelsea. Daddy says Mount could be moving to Arsenal for 70 million. He's not worth that. Oh, my God. Again, I don't really listen so much when it comes to Mason Mount and him moving away at the moment. We were told it was Liverpool. Now, apparently, we've been told it's Arsenal. I haven't seen that, actually. But big up to Leo. RD in the building says 6-0 Arsenal. We're in trouble. We are in trouble. Gets 30. Big up to you. Bruno Fernandes. Yeah, we could do with you right now, actually, Bruno. But Lampard wouldn't play you anyway. Because he don't like attackers. He don't like attackers. Lampard would rather play Conor Gallagher than play any of our attackers. Oh, this is painful, man. Big up Lewis. Big up JT. Big up Sean. Big up John. Big up Ryan. Big up Daniel. Big up Andy. Big up Steve. Sam in the building. Yes, Sam. Big up to you. Daniel. Tazos. What we also got? Steve in the building. He says, only chance Chelsea has if Arsenal get players sent off or 2 players sent off. But like the thing is, right, we could really have a good go. We've not got a crap squad. We just don't get set up properly. We don't get set up properly. And yeah, all right, we're wasteful in front of goal and we suck in front of goal. But at least have a go. I don't get the excuse like this thing of, oh, it doesn't matter what we play. Like, just play what you have, your attackers. At least make yourself some chances. What chances are you going to make with Conor Gallagher on the pitch? As one of your main 2 attackers, and then you leave him up front with Sterling. Are you mad? I didn't even get to watch that Brentford game, but when I saw that team lineup, Sterling and Conor Gallagher, what are we going to do? What are we meant to do with that? True Blue, big up to you. 10-0 is what we got here. Frankie, big up to you. Big up to John. Big up to CFC Peslov. Fats in the building. Big up Fats, we saying, bro. Big up, bro. Jem, how can a player who was so good at attacking and enjoy attacking, play one attack when he manages it. I don't know. I hope he's trying to do like a Mourinho masterclass where we used to play. Even Mourinho did do that. I mean, he used to play. Sometimes used to play he used to play a diamond midfield 4. And when he was in it, where it was him, Ballack, like Makaleli, was it Makaleli or Essien, and then like Deco. You used to have like 4 diamond midfield with 4 like midfielders, but then we'd at least have Didier Drogba up front. Do you know what I mean? Like someone that could actually score when created for, or someone down the wing, Anelka. It would be like 4-4-2, but with Anelka and Drogba up front. So you've got people that can score goals. And then you have Lampard arriving in, and you had Ballack and Essien and Makaleli or whatever. Do you know what I mean? Here, we're just playing 7 defenders. Enzo Fernandez, who's one of our main creators, as the deepest player, as a right winger attacker, who's not a right winger attacker, and then is our furthest player forward. Conor Gallagher, who just runs around like a headless chicken, and has no technical ability. I'm sorry, he doesn't. He's just so bad, really. He is bad, isn't he? Just isn't Chelsea level. And then on top of all of that, you got Raheem Sterling, who's a winger, out-and-out winger, trying to like run in behind 7-foot giants and create when you're not even creating for him anyway. And he's only effective when you play balls over the top. Like, what are we doing? What are we actually doing? I don't get it. Are we aiming to try and get relegated? Like, I don't get the way we're trying to set up. Josh, big up to Josh, man. How you been, my man? Good to see you. Big up Untake CFC as well. Guys, 130 of you guys here. Smash them likes, guys. We're going to go through Lampard's interview quickly of yesterday. I wanted to get, because I've not spoke a lot about Lampard, and I want to talk about Lampard a bit because, Jesus. I love being here. Frank Lampard up for the Chelsea challenge despite dismal run. It is a dismal run, Frank, mate. It is. And you really need to fix up. And, when he got appointed, I wasn't really like, I wouldn't say fussed, but it was very like, oh, well, we'll get to the end of the season, maybe win 1 or 2, 3 games and lose a couple and we'll be fine. I did not expect us to be losing 4 or 5 games in a row under Frank Lampard. And now we're coming up against Arsenal. Who are second in the league. And, all right, yeah, they may have bottled the league. Maybe. Hopefully. But, they don't need any fire in their belly to come up against Chelsea. They don't. They've got an absolutely great record against us. Our record against them stinks. Big up to Jacko. He doesn't have any confidence. We need a huge performance against the rotten, you-know-what. That maybe it's Derby. But they'll be up for it. They'll just want to beat us anyway. Do you know what I mean? But we should be up for it. We were on a dismal run before he got here too. True. But, he's not really set us up correctly, is he? He's not really giving us a chance to try and actually go out and get a victory when you're playing Conor Gallagher and Raheem Sterling as your front 2. Do you know what I mean, Josh? Like, you've got to be doing better than that. Frank Lampard insists he still loves being at Chelsea and he's relishing the challenge of turning the club's fortunes around finishing 10th. Despite losing all 5 of his games, lost 5. Chelsea were booed off in the second. Yeah, they deserve to. It was an awful lineup in the first place. He set us up for failure. I'm not joking. He actually set us up for failure in that game. In the last couple of games. Ask if he still relished coming to work. Lampard said, absolutely. My eyes were open when I came into the job. I am too experienced in football as a player and now as a coach to understand things don't necessarily change overnight. No, they don't. And I'm not saying that we should go and win every blooming game, Frank. But what you can do is show some tactical displays. Show that that you've got some sort of experience in the game and you can see when things are going wrong or it's not working and actually go, do you know what? I've set us up wrong. Let me try and do this and do something different. He don't do that. He just waits till we go 1-2-0 behind, like Graham Potter. And then he goes, oh, let me just make a sub and just take on that one and put that one on. And then, it's too late. It's too late, mate. Our job is to work on the performances and mentality of the group in training and trying to bring back a good feeling. Lampard added, that only came in with hard work. I enjoyed the challenge and I was very aware of it coming in. I'm very proud to manage the club. Yeah, but not to 5 losses, bro. The reality in football with your career will not always be full of success. People always remember the success, but part of the job is tougher at the moment. Yeah, fine. Lampard, who has replaced Graham Potter on interim until the end of the season, faces Arsenal. Really know we're not in great moment, are we? That's what Lampard said. But I've been able to live this now for a few weeks. I also lived maybe 10 years of incredible success and saw it continue, and was part of it again and saw it continue. He also sees Arsenal as an example of how a club can rebuild. If you look at the history of all the top clubs in the league, the moments of tough periods, Lampard said, yeah, but we're not. Let me explain this. Arsenal's, rebuild, should we say, in terms of where they were 3 years ago to now where they are now, was more sticking with what they had. They've not gone out and spent 600 million on players and bought them in, and you know what I mean? It's different. What we need is to nurture the talent we have. We have the quality. The quality is there, but it's actually finding the system with the right manager that can get the best out of them in a system. It's not that they haven't got the quality. The problem with Arsenal back then is that, yeah, they played good football and whatever, and they played a specific system, but they were still taking L's. It took them a long time to produce the quality that they needed and build up that chemistry. I just think we need to use we already have the quality there. We just need the right manager and the tactical side of it to get the best out of it, along with obviously like an outputter in Nkunku coming through the door, maybe another striker and whatever else. So, I don't think we should ever be looking. I don't think we should ever be looking at Arsenal all the time and going, well, this is why Arsenal, well, maybe we should be like that. Yeah, we're in our own movement, but it's a little bit different in how we're moving to the way Arsenal is, in my opinion. Yeah, guys, smash the likes. Need 200 people here as well. There's been a lot of work through the team, Mikel alignment and good recruitment. And Lampard said, do we have a possibility to do that? Yes. Will it take time and good decisions? Yes. But you can get there. You can get there. That process can take 2 or 3 years. They Arsenal are a great example. Done well. Aubameyang could feature after stepping on the bench. Off the bench, Havertz is back in contention. Koulibaly is out. Mason Mount is out of a pelvis. Reece James is out of an injury. Also likely to appear this term. Kukurea faces 2 weeks on the sidelines. There you go. No Koulibaly, no Mason Mount, no Reece James, no Kukurea. And no, well, that's it, isn't it? Yeah. So, I don't know. I just feel that I just feel him specifically could be doing more with what he has. And I know that we're not balanced and we lacks chemistry and whatever. But there's no doubt that there's not quality in this team to actually make things happen. How we go out in games and play with no game plan, no style, doesn't make sense to me. How do we go out in games and not able to at least produce and create and dominate games to a period and actually just show that? Why can't we do that? It's not like we've got bad players in the team. Yeah, we might be unbalanced and we lose control of games, and it's going to happen. I get that. But I need to see more. We need to see more from these players. And, going into a summer, it's all cool. Yeah, it's a fresh start, pre-season. Maybe more new players come through the door. But, I think it's important for these players to show us that, senior players to show us that, that they've still got, that there's some pride in what they're trying to do. There's some pride in what they're trying to do and show and move forward with. Because at the moment, yeah, you can sign out, like what Jimmy Spliff's saying here. Big up to him. Hope he's well. But at the same time, we've still got a job to do, really. Just we still need to get, what is it, a couple of points? A couple of points, is it, from what I understand? So just get the job done. Big up Andreas, man. Big up Jen. Where is Potch? Well, we're going to talk a bit more. We're going to on to quickly Nemanja Matic's comments in regards to Chelsea. He had an interview today and he said, I think Chelsea did a great job signing so many talented players, but I think next season and beyond, they will need to make a balance between young players and experienced players. And I think that is key. Don't get me wrong. I think what we do miss is leaders on the pitch. Maybe we need to sign, I'll say oldies, but guys with a bit more experience to help with some of the youth that we have in the team. But then you look at the team we have at the moment: Azpilicueta and N'Golo Kante, Thiago Silva. Who else is there? Mateo Kovacic. You know, it's not like we haven't got experienced players in the team. We've got them, but they're just not stepping up. Their levels are not, you know, they're not able to know. So maybe it's a case of too many new players coming in, too many new young players coming in. Maybe the whole mix has just been a bit too much, and it looks like it on the pitch. You know, maybe that does need time, and it does need time. I probably agree that it does need time. But still, you know, go and play with a game plan. Go and play with some sort of, you know, show your ability, show your qualities. Show your qualities. But the manager has to get the tactics right, and he has to play the players in positions, you know, and not out of positions, and play 7 defenders in games, which is what he's doing. I think at the end of the season, they'll understand what the problem was, because Chelsea is a big club. Next season, I expect Chelsea to be much better. But they have to be. They can't be what they have been this season. This has to be a progression period. And this is something that the owners need to look at in themselves. You know, they're going to appoint a new manager soon. We're going to have supposedly Pochettino coming through the door. You know, all right, it's a new start, new step, new management, new coach, new ideas, new systems. He's going to have a full pre-season. He's also going to have the backing of maybe a couple of signings here and there. I read something about Pochettino wanting to sign Sadio Mane from blimmin' Bayern Munich. I don't know where that comes from, you know. How true that is, I don't think that's true whatsoever. I don't know why Mane would come to Chelsea. But, you know, we still got a job to do. That's the thing. We've still got a job to do, man. I know there's a huge squad and a lot of new faces, but we saw no style of play under Potter nor Lamps. It feels as though they've said to express themselves with no direction. I think it's a bit of both, British Patriot. I think it's management. I think it's set up. And then I think it's individual performances on the pitch, stepping up, taking your chances. You know, maybe some of the new players like Mudryk, for example, who we know are going to need a bit more time, maybe next season, to really get, you know, put his feet down. That's fine. Came in January, guys. Let's not forget that. Enzo Fernandez played every single game since he put that Chelsea shirt on or signed for Chelsea. The guy's not even had a break. Do you know what I mean? And he's playing out of position. And he's still, you know, possessed and shown his qualities. And we're still losing games. You know, like, it's just, there's a couple of players that need a bit more time. And I respect that and I get that. But at the same time, I expect us still to put some sort of performances in. And not just roll over and die and like we have been doing. It just, I don't know. We need players link up that doesn't just come from game time. It comes from training and ground too. Not implemented. There isn't. But you're not going to get any link up when you're playing Conor Gallagher and Sterling as your 2 attackers. You've got to give yourself more of a chance. Do you know what I mean? You've got to give yourself more of a chance. Big up, Jim. I hope Poch can solve these issues. Look, if it is Pochettino, and it's sounding like it's going to be, as much as I've given my reasons as to why I'm sceptical of him as well, I'll back him and I'll give him the chance because he's going to manage this football club. But he needs to be backed and he needs to try and find a way to tune these players and get the best out of this big squad. Going into the summer, we are going to have an absolutely ginormous squad. He's going to have to make some big decisions. We're going to have a lot of outgoings, I believe, as well. I think players will leave a lot. He's got to pick maybe some of the new young players to maybe come through and maybe hold bench. He's got Nkunku and Malo Gusto coming through. He's then got to work out of the 25 or whatever players that he's going to take on what gives him the best balance throughout the season for the Premier League, for the Champions League, for whatever he needs to do. We'll talk more about that going into next season. But he's got a massive job. And a lot of that's been applied onto him by the owners because they've bought so much in such a short space of time. They're trying to speed things up. Maybe not the best way of doing things from what Todd Bowley and Nick Bailey have done to a degree. But they have an idea. They have a philosophy. They have a project. They're trying to run it through and see it. But I don't know, man. I don't really know how long this is going to take for us to really click again. When are we going to get that click in our brains to be like, right, you know, it's working again. The engine starts firing up. To be honest, I do agree, Jim. It's just a problem. It falls. Chelsea's problems don't fall to just one thing. Chelsea's problems fall from the owners all the way down to the players. Keep getting calls all the time. All the way down to the players and the management. And they all need to look at themselves. It's not about just blaming one individual. It's about them all looking at themselves and going, right, we done this, we fucked up. You did this, we fucked up. What went wrong this season, we need to avoid in doing. We've got a new manager coming. How do we make it work? What do we do? You know, these are the things that they need to make sure they get right. And this is why I'm stressing the manager thing is so key. They have to get this right. You know, and whether half of this fan base feels he isn't good enough, and others feel he is, we're going to find out. But the pressure is really on the owners now with this next appointment, because they made the mistake of Graham Potter. And I do believe that most, not all, but most fans will probably say, do you know what? They've sacked him. He's gone now. They've accepted their F up, even though it's cost us a season, which it has done. I can kind of understand why that happened to a degree, because when you don't have any recruitment around you, hierarchy around you, and it's just you and Egbali, you know, and you sack everyone else, and you decide to make this rash, raw decision in getting rid of Thomas Tuchel and appointing someone that's doing really well at Brighton, but statistically and playing wise, but it's never coached such a big club. They've not obviously took that into consideration, and that's obviously shot them in the foot. And they've tried to hold on to the situation, and it's not worked, and that's why Graham Potter's left. And it's not great because we've suffered for it, but it's fine because I can kind of accept and understand that they're going to have these problems, that they're going to have these moments, because they don't really have. They're not clued up, in my opinion, not clued up to understand it fully, football. You know, so that's fine. They're going to learning curves, learn. But the biggest thing here is learn and move forward and make the right decisions on the basis of your project and find the right person. And it can't just be someone that's going to go, yes, yes, yes. It's got to be someone that understands the vision, that has a system that's going to make some rash decisions in terms of players. Some players are going to be pissed off, others are going to be happy. But at the end of the day, if we're winning games, that's the key thing. If we're winning games under Poch, yeah, and the owners can see that and we can see that, then we're going to back it. We're going to back it because we're not going to care, because we're winning again. And that's what it's about. It's about finding ways to win again consistently throughout the season, which allow us to be competing in the Champions Leagues and not where we are now, because this is not Chelsea. This is not Chelsea Football Club. We know this. You see that they have no clue about football. Yeah, I mean, at the very least, they weren't arrogant enough to see that. Yeah, and then maybe they held on to it a bit too long, Jay. In my opinion, Poch knows how to work with owners. I hope so. He's an experienced manager. You can't knock Poch for his experience. Start Felix, Madueke, Aubameyang, Havertz. We're going to talk about them next. Actually, we're going to talk about the Arsenal Chelsea game, which is why we're here today. But I thought we'd talk a little bit about the owners, about where we are, how it stands, and how we'll talk about this game and what we expect. And what can we expect going up against an Arsenal team who are now second? In the league. Obviously, Man City still have that game in hand as well. They're 1 point ahead with a great record. But you look at Arsenal's record at the moment in form, it's not really good. They're not actually played well for the last 4 games. In the last 5 games, they've only won 1. They've drawn 3 and lost 1. Now, we already know that Arsenal, when they play Chelsea, don't need much to turn up. Some weird reason, when they come against Chelsea, they decide to have 10 out of 10s across the pitch and do things that they don't do to other teams. And that's normal. But we're going to have to step up ourselves. And that's the big issue right now. Where is this vocal leaders push going to come from? Who's going to push us? Because we are 12th. It makes me sick. We've probably got the worst form. We've got as bad as form as Leeds. Our form in the last 5 games is as bad as Leeds. And as bad as Southampton, who are bottom. Chelsea, Southampton, Everton, and Leeds all have the same form. And they're bottom. We are in relegation form right now, guys. And we are, what? 39 points. 30 points there. We need to get over 40 points. We need to get at least 43, 44 points by the end of the season. Because we are nowhere near safe at the moment in these last 4 games. We have to. I know it sounds weird to say this, but, you know, you look at Chelsea's fixture list left. You know, 2-0, like, it just makes you feel sick. These are our games left. Arsenal could lose. That could be another 3 points out the window. But then we've got Bournemouth away and Nottingham Forest at home. These are the 2 key games that Chelsea are going to need to try and accumulate at least 4 points. Bournemouth are actually playing very well at the moment at home, but I still think that we should be taking it to them and beating them, even as bad as we are. Nottingham Forest as well. But this all falls down to Frank Lampard and how he sets us up. Because you can't be playing 7 defenders against Bournemouth and Nottingham Forest at home and just playing Conor Gallagher and one other person up front and expect us to create. But then people go, what does it matter? We play any system, we don't score. But it's not the point. We're not creating like this. It's just painful to watch. There's just no point of playing football for 90 minutes because we're not going to, we're not hardly going to create anything. Put as many of your attackers on the pitch that are attackers, have been playing in these positions for as long as they've been playing football, and then let them try and make things happen. Mudryk, João Felix, Kai Havertz, Sterling, Madueke, give him a chance. Throw some people that are going to cause problems down the wings and stuff. We can't be setting up how we have been setting up the last 2 games, and that's the key, because these are the 2 games that we need to get 6 points in. And then we've got Man City, Man United, and Newcastle, and this will be quite serious. Between all 3 of them games, we could lose all 3. I'll be honest with you. We could lose all 3 of them games. So I'm looking at where can we get points from? How do we get points? And the 2 games that stand out for me is Bournemouth and Nottingham Forest. Have to win at least 1 and draw 1 or win 2. There is no way we can walk away with 2 L's from there. Because if we walk away with Arsenal loss, Bournemouth lost, and a draw in Nottingham Forest or a loss, we're in trouble. We are in trouble. They can't go on vacation, these players. They just can't. They can't sign off. They need to win these. They need to win. They can't keep doing this to us. 2-0, 2-0, 2-1, 1-0, 2-0. When was the last time we won? 2-2. Oh, there you go. Last time we won was when I was at Leicester back in blooming 11th of March. It's May now. What is this? It just makes me feel sick. As a Chelsea fan, we're not used to this. What are these results? Big up Dills, bro. Nice to see you. Big up, Jim. I hope you're well, G, individual winners. We rely on. Big up pre-season. Yeah, but bro, I agree. Big up to you, but we need to win, man. Pelu, big up to Pelu in the building. She says we're not winning another game. Pelu, we have to, darling. We have to win one of them 2, or at least 2 of them games. We've got to win at least 2 out of these games. So out of all the games we've got left, Arsenal, Bournemouth, Forest, City, Man United, Newcastle, we have to win 2. We have to at least win 2, or win 1 and draw 1, which I think might even be enough. I don't know. Guys, smash the likes as well if you can. Over 250 people in the building. I hope you guys are all well as well. It's been a while since we've been on. We're going to talk about team lineups next as well, head-to-heads. We've got the panel coming in as well to join us in a bit. I don't know, man. It's just, I don't know what to say anymore. It's just all painful. It is just all painful, guys. It's all painful. We can't be going into tonight's game with Gallagher and saying, "Oh, this is my point. This falls on the manager now." Can't be setting us up for failure. That's what we're doing, setting us up for failure all the time. Can't be doing that, guys. We can't be doing that. Now, when we look at the head-to-head between us and Arsenal, it's not pretty. They've become a bit of a bogey team to Chelsea. They've literally just become a bit of a bogey team. Now, got them today, but then you look at our records all the way up to 2020. We lost 1-0 to him. which was a shit game, by the way. They were shit as well, but we were bad. We didn't create. Then they beat us 4-2 at home. They beat us at home twice. And then we beat them 2-0 away in 2021. I think that was the game that Lampard was managing, where Tammy Abraham scored the winner. I don't know if you remember. The ball came across, he picked it up, banged it into the bottom corner, and we won that game. I'm sure that was when Tammy Abraham scored. And then we lost to him, and then we lost to him, and then we lost to him. And when you look at our away form, it's actually better than our home form against them for some weird reason. Basically, we're just not in any real great form against Arsenal. They seem to be a bit of a problem. It is, Andrew. It is. But we are going to move away from that, and we've got obviously the team lineups to do as well, guys. How are we going to set up? Honestly, I don't know. I don't even know how to set how to set us up. But the way that we're going to do this is how we're going to first start on how we should set up. How should Chelsea set up? Not forgetting Frank Lampard at the moment. How should we go and attack Arsenal, guys? Let's do that one first. And then we're going to go and do what we think Lampard's going to do. So, my first real question to you guys, is it a back three or is it a back four? What do you think is the best way to attack Arsenal in this game? Let me know in the chat. Mendy should start is what he's saying there. Big up. 8-1-1. That's how we set up. But what should we do? Forget what Lampard's going to do now. What would we do to go and attack Arsenal? How would we set up with all the players we've got? Koulibaly's out, Mason Mount's out, Reece James is out, and Cucurella's out. So forget them four. But how do we go and set up in this game to beat Arsenal if we were going to play? Back five. Everyone's saying back five on them. All right. So let's do the original 3-4-3. So if we're doing that, then obviously I think Kepa's going to be in goal. Keeps playing Kepa, even though it doesn't really matter at this point. Now, Koulibaly's out. And Cucurella's out, which means Badiashile will definitely be playing tonight. Badiashile will. It doesn't matter what system you're playing. He will be playing tonight. Welcome, Don. How are you, brother?
What's happening, Gem, man? What's happening?
We're just having this painful match preview with the 250 people. We're talking about how we're going to line up, what we're going to do, and how. So what we're doing, Don, is obviously we'll talk about the game a bit later on, but rather than talk about what Lampard's going to do, we're basically doing what we would do in terms of how we think we can beat Arsenal or have a go at Arsenal, should we say, at least, yeah? So people have said the three at the back is what they've agreed on in this game. Do you agree that a three at the back's the best way against this Arsenal team? Got to be in it. Oh shit!
Wait, let me come in and now. My connection's.
Go on, I can't hear you. Go on. Yeah, can't.
Hang on, my connection's messing up. Let me come in and out.
Oh, go on. Kick him out. Let's kick him out. Right. So then you go with Thiago Silva, and then on the right it's going to be fun. So that would be the back three, right? That has to be the back three. Fofana, Silva, Badiashile. Now, my biggest question is, what do you do with the four in the middle? What would you do with the four in the middle? What would you do with the four? Why did I do that so much? What would we do with the four in the middle, guys? Because Ben Chilwell's fit, isn't he? So Ben Chilwell's playing. We'll have Chilwell in there. All right. Reece James is out. So what are people saying? Ruben or Aspie? Oh, fucking hell. I'd probably say Ruben in this game. I just can't be watching Aspie going up and down. It makes, at least with Ruben, when he's got the ball going forward, he might, even though he takes too long to cross the ball and he hesitates, at least he drives at players and he's strong physically, he can hold them off. So I'd probably go with Ruben. And then I would go with Enzo and Kane. I want to see just Enzo and Kane. I don't think Kovacic has just been shy. It's been shy. I think that has to be our midfield. With that. Trev. I think Ruben, I think Ruben has to play. Nah, no. He's just not good wing back. When we're going forward, we need someone that can actually offer at least something. Now, I know Ruben don't offer massively much more, but at least he's better offensively going forward. And then the big question comes, who do you play up front? Who would you play up front? What would be the front three? I watched Aubameyang against Arsenal, and he was non-existent as the main guy, and it was partly to do with just having nothing in terms of creativity. But I think Kai Havertz is going to play. Yeah, I think Kai Havertz will play. I agree with Jay. I think Kai Havertz will play. See, I think it will be... I would go with... I think Felix would play off the left. I think Havertz would be up front. And then it's just who plays off the right. Do you know what? I'd play Madueke. That's what I'll do. Because I'll tell you why. Because Ruben's good going forward, right? And he'll give you that. But Madueke, he dribbles, he drives to the ball. I think he'd do a lot more with the ball moving forward. Sterling could play there and would be effective, but you'd need to play balls over the top. And I don't think Ruben's going to do that. In my opinion. And
that should be better.
I can hear you now. I think Madueke deserves a chance in this game, in my opinion. If I was to set up Chelsea tonight, that's how I'd set us up. That's what I'd do. Because I think Madueke, Sterling, yeah, because he'll score goals, but I don't see people like Loftus-Cheek and that creating and playing the balls over top. I think Ruben's more of a to feet person. And with Madueke, he's a driver, so he will come deep, pick the ball, and then make something happen, which means Havertz can make runs in behind. Felix can come off the left and run in behind as well. Or whoever it is, Felix, Mudryk, whatever you choose to do with that. But, the key here is having Enzo Fernandez, and Enzo Fernandez will create. So, you could have Sterling there. But I just want to see Madueke. I'll be honest with you. I'd like to see him. I don't think he would start. I think Sterling would probably play there.
Did he even come on against Brentford? Because I watched 15 minutes of that. I saw Kante running on the right wing, whipping crosses in. I just took the game off. I said, I can't deal with this shit. I didn't watch any of it. I saw the lineup, but I didn't watch it. I didn't watch any. Yeah, I focused on the City game. When I saw Kante running on the right, I said, "Yeah, this is disgusting. I need to turn this off. I can't watch this shit." But,
so, Don, what we're doing here is how we would like. So this is what I would probably do. I'll be honest with you. This would be me mainly. What I would say is how we'd have to go if we're going to have a go at Arsenal.
Yeah,
I would go for it. But what would you change and how would you go? Would you go back 3? Would you go back 4? What would you do with this?
I would definitely keep a back 3. 100%. I think that back 3 that you've got is good. I don't know what's going on with Badiashile because it's like he just got dropped out of nowhere. It's not like he was on bad form or anything. I don't know what's going on there.
And Koulibaly are both out tonight. So
yeah. Then he has to play. He has to play. We can't go with Chalobah in that back 3 again because it's sort of makeshift. He's not a left centre back. He's more, he's a right-footed centre back, right? He's more natural on the right. So we've got to play with someone who actually, knows that position in and out. Is actually a left centre back. So yeah, I would go with Badiashile, bring him back in. I think him and Chilwell have a good relationship as well. That should be quite solid on that side. For this game, Jem, I'm tempted to start Mudryk over Felix. I think defensively at the moment, we can definitely get in behind Arsenal. They've been leaking a lot of goals. I think that's what 12 goals have conceded in the past 4 games.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would go with Mudryk. I know he's still quite raw, but look, he has a point to prove. We all thought he was going to go Arsenal. They're definitely going to give him stick. So hopefully that will drive him. These players just don't seem to be driven. It's like they're on the beach already. But for this game, just because of the amount of goals that they're leaking, I'd rather start Mudryk. I think he will definitely give them more of a headache. You know, players like Rob Holding, hopefully getting him out of position. Who have they got on the right? Ben White as well. He hasn't been the Ben White that we've seen pretty much all season. So I'd rather start someone that can run in behind. Hopefully Enzo can feed him because Emirates is quite big, isn't it? It's a big pitch. So I think Mudryk will thrive in that. And then when it comes to up top, is Havertz available? Last thing I saw, this guy's ill.
No, he's
I'm
back.
kind of checked. Is he back now?
He's in
He's in contention now, right? Boy, I'm tempted to start Aubameyang, Gem, man.
Oh, fuck
I'm tempted to start Aubameyang for this game. Seriously, I'm tempted to start Aubameyang for this game, man.
Did you watch Aubameyang against Arsenal at home? Did any of you watch Aubameyang at Arsenal?
Yeah. Of course. He was shocking, but he actually made a difference when he came on against Brentford. Again, I checked the stats after. I'm sure he got 4 shots on target. From what I saw from the highlights, he did look a bit rusty, but again, at least he's an actual target man that you can aim at there because you can't put Sterling up top. I keep saying this. Sterling wasn't good in a 9 at City, and he would never be good in a 9 at Chelsea, right?
Aubameyang is not a target.
No. He is, Jem. He is a target man because at least you've got a focal point up top. You've got a focal point up top, Jem. Because when you're playing players like Sterling, there's nothing up top. There's nothing up top. Kante. Put it this way, Jem. Yeah, Kante was crossing the ball into nobody. When have you ever seen Sterling score more than 5 goals a season with his head? It doesn't happen because he's not a striker. So Aubameyang, he's a finisher. That's his main trait. He can finish chances. But at least, what in the context of the options that we have right now, at least he's a target to aim for up top. At least you've got someone who has the natural movement of a striker. As much as he's not the same player,
no, but you have to
go with guys that can play in those positions. Because right now,
no. Let me just say this one thing about Aubameyang, right? In terms of his movement in the box and creating for him, yes, because he's a striker, I get it. In terms of his hold-up play and link-up play when we're actually not up the pitch and trying to hold the ball up and link up, no.
No. That's not the context I mean it in. Like I said, Aubameyang is a finisher. That's his main trait. I'm not saying he's the type of player that's going to hold up the ball, bring others into play. He's never been that, and he'll never be that. Aubameyang, he just gets in behind and he finishes chances. That's what Aubameyang does, and he's got very good movement in the box, in and around the box, and here and there he can finish from outside the box as well. We haven't seen it at Chelsea because he's hardly had any game time, but that's his game, right?
I think starting him against Arsenal was a good thing, bro.
He's a finisher. Let me finish the point when I say target man. When I say target man, I'm talking about the options that Frank Lampard's been playing up top. We haven't had someone up top to actually have as a target point. We haven't had that, Jim. Sterling the other day was dropping into midfield. When would you ever see Aubameyang do that? When would you ever see Aubameyang do that? He just needs to stay up there and hopefully finish some chances that we can hopefully create. So right now, Frank Lampard, these lineups that he's going with, right, on Ultimate Team, it won't be 33 out of 33, mate. It'll be 12 out of 33 because you've got multiple players in positions that they just don't play in. They don't play in these positions. So for me, I just want to go with a team with players that play in their actual position and just see them play out and see how it goes because we've got nothing to lose. We've got nothing to lose.
I didn't watch Aubameyang against Brentford. I don't know what he played like. The people in the chat are saying he actually had a good game. I didn't watch the game, so I can't comment on the last game round and how he played or whatever else. I'm looking at the opposition. I'm looking at how we're going to create. I agree, but also how we're going to, build up play from deep because they are going to press and we're going to have to be able to hold the ball, link player, but then be direct through the middle and that's how we're going to get behind them. I think.
Yeah. Just to clarify that, like I said, I'm not describing Aubameyang as a target man. What I'm saying, okay, let me just scrap the target thing. At least he's a focal point. That's the word. That's the phrase I'm looking for. He is a focal point because when you're playing Sterling, when you're playing Mount, when you're playing Gallagher, all these guys as strikers, they're not really a focal point. Aubameyang, at least right? Okay, he's the focal point that's hopefully going to create, finish chances that we're going to create for him. He's a focal point. So yes, he's not a target man. He's a finisher. That's what Aubameyang has.
It depends on Aubameyang who you play around him, Dom, right? Because I think if you've got direct players that can run in behind, create space, and then create in the middle for him a lot more, and he's going to get fed, then maybe it makes more sense. It just depends who the two are next to him. You said Mudryk on the left. But who would be on the right for you then if Aubameyang's up front?
I mean, if Madueke is fit, I'll go with Madueke, to be honest. Or this is a game. This is a game where Sterling could have a lot of space on that side, because where they play Zinchenko and he goes into the midfield a lot. If you look at Arsenal lately, they've conceded a lot of their goals from the left side. So as much as Sterling's on bad form, he's actually got a decent record against Arsenal, for City. And like I said, on that side, it's literally running at no one because Zinchenko goes missing most of the time. Unless they start Tierney, Sterling could be a good option, but I'm not against starting Madueke.
I know Josh don't like it.
Sorry, I just threw up in my mouth a little bit. I don't know.
Yeah, no. Sterling's been abysmal. But who hasn't in this team? Let's be real. Who hasn't been? You've got Sterling playing up top 1 week. You've got him playing, as a 9 1 week. You've got him playing on the right 1 week, the left another week. It's a mess. So right now, I'm not going to pick out players because everyone's playing shit at the moment. No one's doing anything right now. But what I'm going to say is I don't mind seeing Sterling there because, like I said, Zinchenko on that side is suspect. He always runs into midfield and leaves a massive hole in behind. And like I said, Arsenal have been leaking a lot of goals, like 11 goals in the past 4 games, whatever it is. So, yeah, Sterling or Madueke, I don't mind. It's whoever's preference, really, I think. But, yeah, Sterling, if he doesn't make the 11, I'm not against it because, yeah, he's been on terrible form. But, like I said, who hasn't been?
Yeah, let's go to Josh. Josh, how you doing, mate? How you
I'm
been?
good, man. Yeah, I've been good, man. How about yourself?
I'm all right, mate. I've been in Madrid for 4 days, so yeah, it wasn't bad.
So you can't complain about that, I guess, right?
No, it was nice, mate. I can't complain. But what I will ask you, Josh, is obviously we're not doing Lampard's 11 at the moment. We're doing what we would do. What would you do to set up against?
Yes, not too much different than this right here. What the way I would probably set up would be a bit more of a 3-5-2, but I would take. I don't know if you can you just move those cards around? Or you have to change the whole formation.
3-5-2.
All right, yeah. So I would put Mudryk and Aubameyang up top, and I would play Felix in behind the two of them.
Mudryk and Aubameyang up top. Did you watch Mudryk against Leicester up top? The guy is
I didn't say as a solo striker. Obviously, these guys are going to be getting wide. Felix is there to eat up some space in the middle. I would like to see something like this. I think it gives us a bit more balance and it gives us a bit more attack going forward. I have a million issues, so it's not like I can say, "Oh, play this guy. He scores." No one scores goals in this team, so it's not like I could put one guy over the other who's going to score more than the others. I thought Aubameyang against Brentford. I get all the concerns you have, Jem, but like to what Dom was saying, like. He's consistent. Consistently where he's going to be in and about, which I think is important when you have a center forward. You have to have an idea that they're going to be there. I mean, when we don't play a center forward, there's never anyone in the box. A lot of times, like if Kai's playing up forward, he drifts out wide. When Sterling was playing up top, he drifts into the midfield for some reason. Yeah. Like, there's just never, none of those guys are ever where you need them to be, which I think if you play Aubameyang, he is where you need to be. And there were 2 or 3 times when he came on in the Brentford game in that limited amount of time where he was in spaces where they got him the ball and he was able to get a shot off or he was able to get the ball onto his right foot.
The only difference with that, and I need to say this, is that that's Brentford and we're playing Arsenal now. And I watched him.
Yeah, well, I mean, we lost to Brentford, so it's not like.
Yeah, fine. But I was at the home game when we played Arsenal and we had Aubameyang, Sterling, I think it was, and someone else. I think it might have been Havertz. Yeah.
Yeah, but that almost feels like a year ago already, Jem.
It was, but he was non-existent. They dealt with him so comfortable. He didn't even look interested, and that's what worries me with him. He never looks interested when he's on the pitch. He just sort of walks around and whatever. Like,
well, I could say that about the guy that we just had on the screen, and he plays pretty much every week. So I don't know, man. For me, this is how I would like to see it personally because I think it gives us the best balance in the midfield and going forward. That being said, I don't really care, to be honest with you. It is what it is. Yeah. This is how I personally would like to see them come out to start the game.
Let me just say one thing as well, right? If I see what's his name, Aspi in the lineup today, I might just turn it off. I might just turn it off, Jem, because I say it in the group chat all the time. I don't want to see this guy again, right? Until the last game of the season, coming on off the bench just to say bye to everyone, because he shouldn't even be here. anymore. As much as I love Aspie, he's a club legend. He should not be here anymore. We gave this guy another contract and gave him more money than what he was on before, when he's constantly regressing and he's not the player that he was, right? But you wanna even think of starting him today up against Martinelli. Jem, if that happens today, I promise you I'm not watching the game. I promise you now I'm not watching the game. If Azpilicueta starts. I promise you.
It's all vibes at this time, isn't it? Unfortunately. But I keep saying it. They need people say, oh, but we signed off, we don't care. We need points. They can't sign off right now. Whether we lose to Arsenal, we've got Nottingham Forest and we've got Bournemouth, our next 2 games after this. We need to fucking win somewhere. We can't then go into City, United and Newcastle, our last 3 games, with just complete losses, because I'm not confident with them 3. And they need to wake up. Something needs to, but it's not just the players. It's fucking Lampard as well. You can't be playing Conor Gallagher as one of our only attackers with Sterling or Havertz up front.
This is the thing. This is the thing that confuses me so much about Lampard, because you were here before. You managed to get top 4, right? Using a team that was full of just youth team players, pretty much. Tammy, you had Mason, you had obviously Reece James as well, that broke through that season, right? But then you get more money, and obviously, yeah, you left us in, what was he? Was 11th when Tuchel came in? Was it 8th or 11th? I can't remember, right? But this guy's come into a better team right now, a better squad. You've got nothing to lose. You're here as an interim manager. What have you got to lose? Why are we setting up in a way where, like, we're literally in a relegation zone right now, and we're Everton? We're not Everton, we're Chelsea. We've got players of quality right now. It's the basics of just playing players in their actual position. I don't understand the logic behind this. He keeps using these excuses about these guys aren't fit, they're not physical. I'm sorry, there's a few games left. There's a few games left. Just see it out. See it out. I'm not hearing this fitness thing anymore as if we're like only halfway through the season. The season's nearly done. Just play these guys, because most of them aren't going to be here anymore anyway, right? I don't understand, Jim, where the logic is in playing such a defensive-minded squad. Even Thomas Frank said it the other day. Thomas Frank said, I was surprised at the amount of respect they gave us.
He's a pussy, bro.
Right? It just doesn't make any sense. Lewis, please try to explain the logic to me, bro, because I just don't understand why.
It's simple. He's a pussy. He sets out like a pussy because he's hoping for a draw. That's it. The difference is he plays with 0. The problem is you can play defensive football or defensively minded, and that's fine, but you need an outlet. He plays with no outlet. He plays with Gallagher and Sterling for turnovers, and then we concede 1 freak goal and lose the game.
No, but that's my point. And that's what I'm saying. He sets us up for failure, and this is why when people go, it doesn't matter who.
But that's why he's not a good manager.
He's setting us up for failure because he's not giving us the chance to even try and create and make chances in games and whatever, because we fucking haven't got players on the pitch. It's just stupid.
Yeah, he's a pussy, bro. That's it.
He literally has a better squad than what he had when he left after that 200 million that he got, right? And he's got worse. I don't understand. It just makes no sense.
Oh, I don't.
He's not trying to lose. So I think that's crazy to say. Like, he's trying to, like. So for me, my biggest issue is just that with him. It's not the football, really. It's the, you don't really have anything to lose by like playing younger, playing new signings, playing guys who haven't had much of a chance this year. Like, he doesn't have anything to lose by doing that. That's been my biggest concern with what he's doing. Like, why are you playing some of these guys that they're just not there? Some guys haven't got a chance to play this year, and you might be able to get something out of those guys because they want to prove something, they want to show something. That's been my biggest concern with him. Like, the football was terrible before he got here. It's been just as bad since he's been here. My main concern is the fact that his personnel decisions have been really poor. Like, give a guy a chance who hasn't played much this year, because you might be able to get a little bit of effort out of that person because they want to prove themselves. When you play guys who have been playing all year, playing terrible all year, they're not trying to show you anything. They're not trying to improve at all. They're not trying to give you that extra effort. So play the guys who will give you that extra effort and see if you can scrape something out of it. The football, it was atrocious before he got here, and it's just as bad now. So
that's where my issue lies, and I agree with Josh. I think it's more how he's setting us up, and it don't make sense that you go into games having 8 or 9 defenders on the pitch, but expect to do more going the other end when one of your main guys is Conor Gallagher, who can't even control a ball properly. I'm sorry, you can't. Like, he's technically just not that. He's just not. I'll be honest with you. He's just not Chelsea standard.
He's not.
For me. He's just not that level. And, you know, all right, he done well at Palace and it worked, and that's fine. You know, let him do that there. But he shouldn't be starting over players like Felix, Mudryk, Madueke, you know, even Mount to a degree. These are players he should not be starting over for me. And he does. He plays him. And it's like, what are you doing?
That's the thing, Jim.
And then he waits for us to go behind, and then he goes, he does a Graham Potter. He goes, we're behind. Man, Aubameyang, Mudryk, come on, let's go. Come on, man.
I don't get the point that he's trying to prove, because Josh, I don't believe he's purposely trying to put us out there to lose the game. I don't think he's doing that. But the level of just incompetence right now is sickening. It's madness. Like, this is someone that's just not doing their job correctly at all. If this was anyone in any job, you're just constantly not making the right decisions constantly. You're not going to be in that job long, right? And obviously, he's here on an interim basis, but you know, it doesn't mean that should just mean that you just give it all up and not even try to put out a team that's worth watching. Because right now, Jem didn't want to watch the other day. He didn't watch it. I didn't watch the game. That's the first game this season. That's the first game this season that I took off, right? Because I just couldn't watch it anymore. I saw Kante on the wing crossing the ball into no one. I said, I can't watch this shit. I took it off.
What is this thing with playing Kante up front as well? I've noticed it. What the fuck is that?
Well,
you know what I mean?
He's the best forward. He's our best forward, to be fair.
Well, Frank is being pretty straightforward with you in these pressers when he's talking about. I think he said something the other day that I thought was true. Like, since he's been in, he's had about a day, 2 days in between every game, which means he's not getting any real chance to like evaluate these guys in a training session. And so I can see where, to some aspect, like maybe he's a bit timid to play guys who haven't.
But the thing is, though, in the squad, when it comes to football, if you haven't got enough time to work on tactics or whatever, the bare minimum that you can do is play people in their correct positions so they can have at least some chemistry and understanding of the role that they're playing. When you're playing guys like Gallagher up top and Kante up top, and you're not actually coaching them on what to do up there, how do you expect to get any results? Because you're playing these guys out of position. If you're not going to work on any tactics, just go with the basics. Play Mudryk in his position. Play Alba in his position. Play Felix in his position. Don't do this mismatch thing and then don't work on any tactics as well, because then you're just doing yourself twice. So it doesn't make any sense if you're going to do that.
What I was going to say when I was finishing is like I can understand, like, when he first got here, that mindset, because they were, I mean, you're talking about maybe a day of like very light training, just some physical stuff, and then a game. But last week he had basically a full week before the game, and he kind of did the same thing from a player personnel standpoint. So like that was very disappointing. I thought maybe with like a week with the guys, he might be able to like, all right, well, now I've had a week, I've been able to do a bit more. I can put some different guys in positions now that I've seen them more, but then he didn't do that. So it's like, I do sympathize with him a bit in the fact that it's almost impossible to like identify players who are on form when you have a day in between games, but he did have a whole week the other day, and then he kind of put the same shit out there. But no, I think we're all in agreement. So we'd all like to see some of these newer signings, some of these guys who haven't played much, get a chance, because those are the guys who are actually going to give you that extra bit of effort.
I would play Madueke. I keep saying that. If we're going to try, I want to see him on the pitch, man. I do. I don't care.
Josh, did Madueke play in the last game, by the way, Josh?
He played. He came on at the end of the Brentford game, and honestly, I like what he does, because he plays the way I like my wingers to play. He's on the front foot. He's going at defenders. He's getting to the end line to get crosses back across the middle. I like that he does. He cuts on his left foot to get shots off. I like the way he plays. He is young. He's very raw, but I really do. In my wingers, that's the kind of winger I like. I think it depends purely on the formation if he's going to play from the start.
Well, this is why I would have switched it to a 3-4-3 and had it with him on the right. Yes, but then you lose Felix, or Felix plays off the left, and then you play and Mudryk don't play, which is whatever. But you know, if you're going to be creative for Aubameyang, I think having direct wingers that can actually dribble and run would be probably better for him, because it will create space for him to be able to, attack the box a bit better, rather than having Havertz and Felix, who are going to drift in a bit closer to him in the box, and then it just gets and then we've got nothing out here. So it makes more sense to have, people that give him space to be able to use.
Stop in this lineup right here. See, because we've been looping for about 20 minutes over Lampard, right? You're gonna get this exact lineup.
Man. How you been?
You're gonna get this exact lineup today, and we're still gonna lose 3-0. And I'll see what the conversation is after. The lineup doesn't matter. When people say that, they're not saying it because it's like, but like even them playing well isn't going to happen. I don't know if people don't understand that. Like this lineup, he's gonna play the lineup everybody wants today. It's gonna be a good lineup. People are gonna like it. It's still gonna be the same thing. Real Madrid is the key point. Both games in Real Madrid, the first game was the lineup everybody loved. All the attacking players, Felix, all these guys were starting 2-0. The next game was the lineup everybody hated, right? The box midfield with Gallagher and Conte. What was the score? 2-0. So somehow fans convinced themselves, and I said this on the Potter too. This is why I stopped like even coming on shows or talking about lineups. Is it doesn't matter, right? I'm disappointed in Lampard as well for even taking the job. Because you saw what happened the first time you came here. Why the fuck would you take it again? So that's my only gripe with him. But I will never attack him. This is a fucking legend. So that's just my take on it.
Yeah, but Dan, the thing is though, he has.
Hold on. Apart from that, nothing really changes. Like whatever. If you don't believe, because I believe Lampard has a tactical structure, and that's what his four at the back, his wingers is 4-3-3 that he likes to play. Yeah. If he can't play that, he can't do much. Right? He can't do much. So you ask it, let him play this, and then Felix will play here and come through here. Do you believe he has the ability to drill those tactical instructions into them good enough to go against a team like Arsenal? No.
Yeah, but the players have the ability.
They don't. Have you watched the guys all year? Do you think Mudryk has any tactical understanding in him from what you've seen so far?
No, but what I'm saying to you is the players that are on the pitch, if played in their positions, have an understanding of the way that they need to play. No?
Yeah, but that's in the 4 at the back. He can't listen. He's not going to play a 4 at the back because the 2 times that he did that, we had like 25 shots in our box. So he's terrified. He's not going to do it, right? Yeah. If he's not going to do it, which is a formation he's comfortable with, and he kind of knows how to tactically set you up in that formation, if he can't do that, and he does a 3 at the back, to me, it doesn't really matter. That's his best chance of actually getting something. So maybe in the next game against teams that are kind of really, really poor and not in really good form, maybe he can do something in those games. But against Arsenal,
but he can't be setting up with Conor Gallagher as playing up front with Sterling against fucking Brentford. What is that about?
Can I jump in here?
We shouldn't care what players are playing because it does matter to me a bit.
It does matter.
It doesn't matter.
It is a factor that you guys haven't mentioned at all. That the environment at Chelsea is so toxic, and big up everyone too. I think this lineup is going to be one that you guys don't like. I think the only way, because no one wants to play for the badge, it's such a mess of an area. It's very mercenary-like. I think Lampard is going to choose players based on players that know what it means to verse Arsenal in a derby game. I'm talking about Azpilicueta, everyone that's been there. You're going to laugh, but when you say that lineup, I think he's going to pick a lot of players based on that, just so they can turn up for this game. Don't worry about tactics or anything like that. I think the player selection is just going to be just to get something out of the team. Because no one wants to play. No one. This club has. It's got an environment. If you thought Roman was bad, just sacking 1 or 2 people, right? I mean, just a manager. Everyone's replaceable now. Groundsman to the kitchen, everything. Physio. That we'll call the physio back. It's Chelsea now, right? Any relationship you had, and every player, the big dressing room, everyone knows that everyone's replaceable. So it's mercenary. To get something out of this game, Lampard is going to choose players that know what it means to verse Arsenal. So the new players that you guys are talking about don't know that. And I think they won't make the team. I think he's going to pick your Gallagher, Sterling, your Cover, Aspie. I think he's going to pick some of the people that he thinks knows to play this game. And that's the lineup that you're going to see.
Sterling knows what it means to play in a London derby.
Jem, take Cover.
Kind of the closest one. Knows what it's like in the EPL. Knows what it's
like. You want it to be realistic.
Huh? Would you say, Lewis?
You gotta have Gallagher instead of Cover if you want to be realistic.
Take Cover out of that. See, I'm even saying take Gem out of that. Take Cover out of that now.
Nah, he loves for some weird reason.
Bring me my Labrador.
For some weird reason, he loves Cover, so he's going to play Cover. Realistic. He's gonna play Kova.
All right,
He
sorry,
never
This
said
is
that.
so bad,
He never
man.
said that. He's
Guys, you're
gonna
not
play
being
Kova.
realistic. Gallagher's coming on the second half, man.
He's
That's
gonna
what's
play
gonna
No,
happen.
Oba.
if
He's
you want
gonna
to
play
do the full
Aubameyang.
realistic, Oba's got to drop out. We need Sterling.
He's gonna play Oba.
Yeah.
Oba against Arsenal. You think
Even
he's
plays
not
4 in
gonna
the
play?
back.
Oh yeah, he's definitely gonna play him against Arsenal. Redemption.
Of course he is.
Yeah, I mean, he basically said as much yesterday. Like, I don't.
Who's playing?
Yeah, but he's unpredictable. He's unpredictable. He's
Aubameyang.
like teasing us.
No,
He's teasing
I
us.
got a feeling Aubameyang will start.
Listen,
He's teasing us about it, but we'll see. We'll see.
We're fucked,
Here's
man.
here's what you do. Here's what you do. Listen.
I don't know why you thought we were.
Here's
fucked in the
what you
first
do,
place.
Jeb. Here's what you do, Jeb. You pick content.
Bro,
you pick
why are
content,
you all
Jeb.
thinking we're gonna win today?
If it's under 3 goals, I think that might be actually like a success, maybe.
Bro,
Right.
even the game's bugged one. It doesn't want you to pick no more.
Yeah, look, I can't even put a player there now. Look, it's even.
It's like no more, man.
That's a wild card, Jim. Leave that. That's going to be like
So
subbed
what
out
we're
3
saying
times. That's why.
we're all accepting here that we're going to lose to Arsenal. We should just concentrate on Nottingham Forest and Bournemouth our next 2 games and try and get 3 points in them games. Is that what we're saying? Is that it?
Let me tell you
I
something.
don't know
I mean,
about
if we're being
I don't know about,
realistic-
about focusing. I just want to get through the season.
Let me tell you something right now. I hate a lot of these players, right? And not because of their talent or any of
Facts.
that. I don't really care about that, right?
Yeah.
For me, it's like I've showed up to certain teams with Raul Meireles and Ramirez
Yeah.
in midfield,
Yeah.
right? And I wasn't complaining about, here's the ball retention because we can't keep the ball, so we're losing. We won. We weren't losing, right? That's the Chelsea I know. All this new shit, the more and more the years go on, I'm just losing it. I don't understand what this team is. This isn't the Chelsea I knew because it doesn't matter who we show up with.
This is
We can show up with the worst midfield ever, right? And we're still not losing. Show up with Tal Ben-Aim as a center back next to Terry. We're still not losing.
Yeah,
Right?
but Dan, I disagree. I disagree with that though because
all these players played against Spurs. When we lost to Spurs this year, I realized. When we lost to Spurs this year, that's when I realized, we're fucking finished because we never lose to those guys, no matter who plays.
Bro, even before Roma, we buttered Spurs. Even relegation times, we buttered them.
Oh,
Do you know what? Do you know how it's going to change?
I thought the Spurs game, because that was a game for everybody. Even Lampard, he never lost to them. So I'm thinking, Spurs comes along, we get a good win, maybe something. Nope.
Hey,
Disappointing
Dan, do you
loss.
know how it's going to
No,
change?
okay.
I'll tell you how it's going to change. I'll tell you how it's going to change. Just got to sell him. If you sell him, it all changes. Remember?
It's not going to change shit.
How does it
Yeah,
solve?
yeah,
But how
we're
does it solve
winning the league.
anything?
We're
Hey, you
winning the
guys, look,
treble.
people being on player agendas this whole
They'll
season,
mount.
and it's crazy.
They'll
Why
mount.
is no one like eyeballed anyone like the guy that made the cuts of everyone? Like for me, it's really high on Bowley. He's made an environment that no one wants to blame. No one wants to be here. Everyone's going to ask for a transfer next season, and we're going to be stuffed for a couple of seasons. I'll tell you that much. We're mercenary clubs, and if you've never seen it before, when you get a whole new, everyone brand new back room, whole new team, it doesn't happen straight away, and we got zero patience. So you worry about the next couple of games. I'll be worried about the next couple of seasons.
Yeah, but
it's going to be everything's brand new.
the thing is, Dan, I get. Wait, hold on, Josh. Just 2 secs, bro. Yeah, Dan, I get your frustration around. It doesn't really matter who we pick right now, but for me, I'm not going with that mentality right now. As much as we're on shit form and we've been shitting all season, we've been in the mud all season, right? As much as Graham Potter wasn't good enough for Chelsea, that last game against Villa, me and Jem was at the game. Yeah, we should have won that game if we finished our chances. Same thing with Everton, we should have won that game. As much as Graham Potter wasn't it, we were at least creating chances and at least looking like we were going to score. Yeah. But now Frank Lampard, the first game against Wolves, this guy went to a back 4, completely changed it. Yeah. Went to a back 5 against Madrid, cool, whatever it is, where it is. And then he went back to a back 4 again. Right? Clown. Yeah. So when it comes to, it doesn't matter who we pick. Well, it does matter because something clearly before was working to an extent. But yeah, we weren't finishing our chances. And yeah,
Was that a bad Villa performance though? For me, it was. But I don't know for you. You had the game. Maybe you know better.
No. Jen, we
should. It was atrocious defending by Villa that day, and that's what they've been known for. So they didn't even turn up, and we didn't.
Villa haven't been shit defensively. Villa have not been shit defensively. Even that day.
No, they haven't. That game, but that game against us, they were. That was one of their worst performance defensively.
How many chances did we have? And funny enough, that actually wasn't Graham Potter's worst performance. He got sacked.
You're just making my point for me.
That's the point.
Those happen. But those happen. But we're about to finish lower than 11th, right?
No. But
these players aren't that bad. The managers
missing
aren't that bad. And you're saying who turned? Like, what I'm saying is that there's some players that are way better than they're performing. Majority of these players, right, are way better than they're performing. So it doesn't matter who you choose.
The majority of these players are Champions League quality. Let's be honest.
Declared.
What I'm saying is they don't want to. They don't want to play.
Let me land my point.
So
bro,
don't pick the players based on their quality. Is what I was trying to get at.
Okay, let me land my point before you interrupt, because I didn't finish what I was saying. Yeah, the point that I was making is that yes, under Graham Potter, we weren't getting the results. Okay, we were creating a lot of chances, and again, that last game when he was in charge, when I was with Jem, like I said, at the ground, we should have won that game. Yeah, he got sacked. It is where it is. He wasn't getting the results, right? Frank Lampard he's got worse. Like I said, he's made the team got worse than what we were seeing under Potter. Because with me, when I saw Frank Lampard first linked to the job, I thought it was trolling, yeah? I thought TalkSport were trolling because they saw him at the Liverpool game and I thought, okay, this is for clicks, right? This is clearly for clicks because there's no way they're going to bring Frank Lampard back. I understood the logic around bringing him back, but I did not agree with it, yeah? But the bare minimum I expected of this guy is to at least have been watching Chelsea all season, seeing what's going on, and seeing that you've actually got some tools that you can work with right now to at least make something, even if it's just a starter, not a main meal. Yeah, at least get us a goal, at least get us scoring. Even if we're losing games, at least do something, bring some sort of vibes, like you said you would. Yeah, but the guy has gone completely backwards, and like Lewis said, it's because he's a pussy, right? He's brought this shit mentality he had at Everton when they were in the relegation zone, right? I love Frank Lampard as a legend of my club, as a footballer. I can separate him as a footballer to what he is as a coach. He should never, ever coach another team again. If any club offers this guy a job again, especially in the Premier League, then I don't know what they're thinking. I don't know who they've got upstairs that's going to make that.
Is it possible that the team...
Yes, the players right now... Wait, Declared. The players right now aren't great. I do get it, Dan. I do get it. The players right now are not on form. But you're not helping them by playing them in positions that they don't play in, is the point that I'm making. So... As much as you can say,
how many changes? We've had the record-breaking changes. Don't worry about the positions. The damage is done. What Lampard wasn't going to come in and create magic. The environment is that these players aren't going to play. If Lampard can't get these players to perform, you're still talking about tactics.
You're not listening to what I'm saying. The basics of football.
I am listening. You're putting the blame on the players and Lampard. You expect Lampard to. You thought Lampard was a joke when it was announced, right? Because I did too. And then you expect Lampard to do magic things.
No. I didn't. Where did I say magic? I said basics.
No,
I call it magic. What your expectation is magic.
How is that magic? How is me? Okay, hold on, Dan.
Here's the only difference because we keep going. Let
me respond back to Declared. How is me expecting you as a manager, right? Who has been at the club before, right? You've been a professional before, you've retired now, you understand how football works. How is me expecting you to play players in their natural positions asking for magic? I don't understand
It's not even just paying players to get something out of this team, whether it worked or not, right? Just to get these players to perform as good as they are, right? That is magic to me. You first thought it was a troll because it's a joke, and then you had high expectations from him. Right, some of these players turned on him. Right, when he comes in, you just wanted him to play players in his in the main positions. But he doesn't have that massive.
We're just misunderstanding what he's trying to say. He's saying it doesn't matter if we were losing as long as he felt the players were playing the positions that he liked. So we could have lost same record that we have right now if he was playing a 4-2-3-1 with Felix as Cam and Mudryk on the left and Sterling on the right. He would have been, cool with it, right? My thing is that would have everything would have been a loss. We would have still lost in the exact same way. So if you're saying, well, I would rather we lost in this way, then it's like, what's the point? It's just kind of like a petty. It's like a
loss is a loss.
No. It's not
like, well, if you would have played Mudryk left wing the entire time, I would have felt this. No, here's the reality. If you're coming in as an interim manager, it's not to build for the next manager. You'd have just kept the old manager then, right? It's to
when I heard this,
it's to stop losing. When Hidden came to us the second time, we drew like 7 games in a row. We just kept drawing every fucking game because he didn't want to lose because we were losing so much.
Yeah.
So I know what he's trying to do is to not Not to, oh yeah, let me get these guys to attack and score some goals. No, just stop losing.
Once he plays like that, Don, and we don't win, you know, people. I remember everyone kept the narrative because Lampard saw Werner as an inside forward, never played him through the middle. Everyone's saying, oh, he's a striker playing through the middle. And that agenda was kept up for months, for the whole time, right? Till he got sacked. Towards the end, he played him through the middle. And Werner was even more shit than then, right? And everyone shut up. And so, Don, if you played the players in the same position, right, and we still lost, are you just going to go quiet? Because it doesn't matter what position, because even Potter changed everyone in different positions. Everyone played all over the park, right? What I'm saying is, before most, if a player doesn't want to play, if a player doesn't want to play,
well, you said
we're still going to get bad performances. What I'm saying is to get a player to play before playing in the same correct. Everyone play unison. Don, what I'm saying is maybe, right, he can play the way Dan brought up, you know, the way you wanted to play, the way you want to set up. But maybe it takes 3 months to work, right? Lampard's got no time to do anything, right? All he had to do was just try to get these players to perform more than they are, whatever position they are. Just look like they want to be there, right? And he's struggling with that. So that means there's so much done way before he came in that's unfixable. Right, that's something that's going to take a lot more time.
Hold on. Yeah, but the thing is, back to the point that you said, where you said Lampard just doesn't want to lose games. Yeah, like our defensive record actually isn't bad. It's not bad, bro. And like I said, under Potter, we weren't winning games. We weren't winning games under Potter, like I said, because we weren't taking our chances. Yeah, but like I said, he has gone so negative now, so far away from what Potter was doing. Like, what he was doing was quite bad. Yeah, he's gone so far away from that now. And he's making it out as if we're literally in a relegation battle right now. If we had an extra 5 games right now, I don't see how we'd stay in this league, playing the way we're playing, is the point that I'm making. So rather than being so negative, be balanced, okay? I'm not expecting him to be ultra attacking. I'm not expecting that. All I'm expecting is put a basic lineup out there and play people in their position. That's not too much to ask for. I'm sorry, that's not too much to ask for.
I don't get what the problem is with that. I don't get why, as Chelsea fans, why we would not want to see some of the players that we've spent money on being played in positions to actually be able to try and make something happen and have some sort of chemistry or try and work towards that. Yeah, they're not going to be unbelievable and dominate games and it's going to be 10 out of 10 performances across the pitch, but at least set yourself up in a way where you can actually try and be effective if you're going to be effective in a game.
Just being played in a position doesn't make a performance go up a different level if the tactical setup isn't right. Like we saw Mudryk under Potter. Like we understand Potter is a better manager than Lampard, right? And every time he played Mudryk off the left, we'll complain about, oh, is Cucurella not passing to him? Does he not see him? Does the team not understand his runs? Blah blah blah. Then when he
what you're saying is it's better to do what we're doing now, playing guys out of position.
There is no. What I'm saying is there is no better. If these guys are not even fighting, because Tuchel was playing everybody out of position. Right, and the basic levels of even just fighting and just performing,
and that's why I said to you before, if you're not going to do anything on the training pitch, if you're not going to give any tactics on the training pitch, you can't play guys out of position. You can't play people out of position because that means that player has no idea what they're doing because they're not used to playing there. That's the point.
What I'm saying, and I think Dave's saying the same. Correct me if I'm wrong too. But basically, that's not the problem. That's not the problem at the club now. Playing players out of position isn't the problem, right?
I'm not saying
it can be. It can be if say the tactical wise was working and there was a weak link where a guy couldn't do his role properly. Yeah, I agree with you. He's not playing his position, and that's why that when he gets the role and his role isn't done right. But that's not the problem. You know that, yeah. If that was a problem, then I'll agree with you. But we're saying that you play the player in the correct position, and they're still not performing. Right, there's this thing of these. We are in a relegation fight. This is very similar to when I saw Villa go down, or where I saw Newcastle go down, even Portsmouth, when they were full of mercenaries that didn't care anymore. Right, this is what it looks like.
What is the point of signing these players that play in these specific positions if it's no point? What is the point?
There's no point. What's the point?
What was the point of signing so many players?
What's the point? No, but what I'm saying to you is, what's the point of signing Mudryk but not playing in the position? If I'm the manager and I play the players that we've bought in their positions, but they just don't perform, that's their problem.
Exactly. We're not even seeing that. We're not even seeing that.
As you realise, it's not their problem only. We have a big squad and no one wants to be there.
It's
right?
not a problem.
Why spend so much? Why have such a big squad? Why set wage bars? Why disrupt? Why sack everyone? Why disrupt the place that people don't feel like people are unhappy, right? And they don't want to perform. You got an unhappy player, right? And play him in the right position.
I don't agree with that.
I don't agree with that at all. I don't agree with that.
So do you think these players are they're happy where they are? Do you think that they like what's going on?
Of course not.
So what I'm saying, we're not 12th because players have been playing out of position, right?
There's multiple reasons why we are where we are. No one's saying that there's only one reason.
We're talking about.
And so I'm saying overall before the positions, right? Because Potter has a record-breaking position and formation change. So he's done everything. He was picking out a raffle and trying new things, right? Players have played all over the park, right? We've played so many different ways. It was a record-breaking how many changes he's made. That was record-breaking, right? So he's done everything. What I'm saying is that before that, the bigger problem is that there's players, it's a bad environment, bad dressing room, right?
Yeah, so but Declare,
what you're saying is, doesn't matter what you do, you're not going to get the best out of these players.
Declare, you just said
the right position.
So what's the end road? What's the end road then, Declare? What's the end road then?
I'm saying, Jim.
That has to be.
I don't get it. I don't get the logic behind
I'm saying the season's done, Jim. That's why I said. That's why I said Lampard was going to pick the players based on who know what this game means. Not what you guys thought. Not these new players. I reckon he's going to pick more players based on what they know, what this game is about. So they just turn up.
Potter had a big problem because he kept chopping and changing the lineup. Yeah, when you keep chopping and changing the lineup, what that means is there's no stability. Yeah, there's no time to gel. Yeah, there's no way of building chemistry. Yeah, there's no way of knowing how this player is going to make a run in certain positions. Yeah, if you look at all the teams in the top four, especially, right? Look at the team. Actually, no, if you look at all the teams in the league, pretty much, you know the 11 every single week, pretty much. There might be a few, touches here and there. Pep roulette, everyone says, because he might change a few things here and there. He might play Stones this week. He might play Walker this week. He might play this person this week. With us, right, it was chopping and changing constantly. So regardless of you playing people in their natural positions, if you're constantly chopping and changing, it's still going to be, it's not going to be good for the team because you keep chopping and changing players. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So as much as I get what you're saying about Potter, I get what you're saying about Potter, but that's a completely different point. He kept changing the team. Regardless of playing players in their natural positions. He kept chopping and changing players, which meant a lack of stability.
But remember, Don, I said that earlier in the season. Remember, that was my thing against Potter. I'm saying that we've gone down a road now that is beyond that. You're 100% right, and if you remember, I was saying that when I was against Potter. When you guys were defending Potter, that was my issue, that he didn't have a style and he kept changing, right? He should have had some way of playing, right? By now. That was you remember that, right? I argue with all you guys about it. Now I'm saying it's gone far beyond that because the January window, he just brought in everyone. And now we're hitting the point. Now it's beyond the way of playing because Lampard can't do that in the time he's here as well, right? There's so many players that are thinking about their future and leaving the game time. It's what I'm saying. The environment's not that great, so you're not getting the best out of these players. That's what my argument is. I'm saying that problem is more than what you guys are saying.
What is the excuse in not lining up offensive?
So Declare, if that's the case, wait, Jem, let me just say one point before you answer that, Declare. So what you're saying right now is we shouldn't turn up to any more games. The environment is shit. It's not going to change at all until the summer because we know the environment is not going to change at all, at least until the summer. So basically, just don't turn up to any games and just forfeit now. Just forfeit the rest of the season is what you're saying. Yeah, don't even try to put up any line.
People realize
I'm not saying don't turn up. I'm saying they aren't turning up, and I'm saying this problem is going to hang till next season. Like this is going to be one of the hardest. Look, Poch hasn't even announced. There's still a slight chance he doesn't sign. Everyone's saying, everyone's doing formations at how he's going to line up. He might not even sign. This is such a big job for anyone that this is going to go on to next season. And at the start, this is still going to be a problem, right? This is going to be a hard fix, right? And it might even it's going to disrupt next season. This is going to take a while, and it's going to be so new players. It might even take 2-3 seasons, right? But no one wants to talk about that but this is how I've seen every club before, right? Basically, we're going to have a whole new team. we're going to look very different.
Declared. We know the bigger problems away from the pitch. We're talking about the lineup.
So to answer your question, it's not about not turning up. No one's getting these players to turn up. So that's where we're at. We're lucky we're not in a relegation fight because we would get relegated, right?
We would. 100% we would.
But people not understanding, right? We still need we need to get around 43, 44 points, which tells me we need at least
We need to basically get mathematically out of the possibility of relegation.
We're not getting relegated.
We can lose every single game and we'll be fine. The team
will be fine.
If we lose every game, we have a chance.
The other teams are going to keep us in the league. That's where we're at. And Jim, to answer about
we don't have a chance.
Because of that theory, what I just said is why I think Lampard's just going to look at players and at least get the players that might turn up for this game, even though they don't want to be here, but they know what this game means, right? And get them to play. And usually they're the players that have been at Chelsea. That's what I think that his lineup's going to be influenced by that.
I don't think anyone knows what he's going to do. It's
Listen,
no one knows, but that's my theory to it. I think the lineup's going to be influenced based on players that know more about what this game means to Chelsea fans. So at least they turn up for this game, and maybe we lose all the rest.
Yeah, go on. What are you saying, Dan?
Yeah, what I'm saying is that I do believe he's failed, right? And he's failed in getting these players motivated. That was his number one job. He's come in and galvanize these guys, get them performing to a certain level. Once he's failed in that, nothing else matters, right? Because if you fail in getting these guys motivated, which we saw was the number one problem, whether you play them on a 4-3-3 or 4-2-3-1 or whatever you want to play them in, they're going to play like shit, which is what we fucking seen. He's played a 4 at the back. He's played these guys as wingers. He's tried that, and we've still lost. We've still played bad. That's why, I'm not too pressed on that. We've seen it for 6 games. People keep focusing on the last game and Gallagher and the team that he played, but look at all the games that he played, especially in the Premier League. It doesn't matter. He's failed in the number one thing that he was brought in to do was motivate these guys, get them performing, at least working really, really hard and fighting. They're not doing any of that. So,
and what's he done? He's made it harder for himself by completely changing the formation, going back to a formation that hasn't worked for us all season, going to a back 4, right? And playing people out of position. He's making the job harder for himself.
Yeah, he went to back 3.
He went to back 3, yes, against Madrid, but in the first game back, he went to a back 4 against Wolves, right? And the other day, he basically played what, 3-6-1 or whatever it was. Yeah. So that's the point that I'm making. He is literally here, not on a trial to get the job. He's literally here as a free hit.
Well, hold on, Don.
Pretty much. Yeah,
Don,
and he's bottled it.
This is the problem.
Dan, you can do a better job than him. We can do a better job.
No, I couldn't. This is the big problem. This is the big problem, right? Is that you're saying as if we had an established way of playing, and then all he had to do was come in, motivate those guys in that established way, and let's just go from there. There wasn't no established way.
I didn't say it was an established way.
Let me explain. You said he came in, he changed it immediately from what we're playing to a 4 at the back. Yeah, we played a 4 at the back this year for a lot of games, most games. So how was that? What difference does it make? It's only the last probably 6 games that Porto went to the back 3, right? And even then, we're still not winning games. It was draws.
Well, most of our players came back from. Sorry, I just want to add to your point, Dan. A lot of the new players that came, they came from playing that formation at their old clubs.
Oh, he played against Brighton 4-2-3-1 with Christian Pulisic, Gallagher, Mudryk, and Sterling as the front.
That was a back 4. I remember that. Yeah, he went to a back 4 that game as well. He went to a back 4 against Brighton. We got bopped all over the place against Brighton, and then he went to a back 5 the last game, and then just completely
back 5. Yeah, he went to a back 5 for Brentford, but he played Gallagher, Kante, and Sterling as his front 3.
As his front 3, yeah.
What is that?
3-6-1. 3-6-1 basically is what he did.
Yeah. and then against Wolves, when we lost 1-0 away, he played a back 4 with Koulibaly and Fofana, and he played the front 3 of Felix, Havertz, and Sterling. Which
Jem, this is what I'm saying. He went to a back 4. He went to a back 4 against Wolves. Went to a back 5 against Madrid, and then he went back to a back 4 that doesn't work against Brighton. Yeah. This guy, man,
was he in charge of Liverpool? Was he in charge of Liverpool?
No. That was
Bruno. That was Bruno.
You said he was Felix who? Felix, Havertz, and Sterling, and it was still lost.
Front 3, yeah.
What game was that? Was that Wolves? The Wolves game?
Oh, that was Wolves. We lost 1-0 away that game. Yeah. But when you look at the stats
that
of that
banger.
game, and in terms of creativity and what we did on the pitch that day, we created more than them. The only issue we had was one shot on target. We had 13 shots, only one on target. They had 9.
There we go.
So, just goes to show the output issues that we know that we have in place anyway. But goes to my next thing, match predictions, guys. I don't like doing them, but we have to. I'm doing them.
Oh man,
I'll be quick and cheerful with it and stay positive. We're going to beat Arsenal 3-0, and Enzo Fernandez is going to score a 30-yard screamer, and Havertz is going to score, and fucking God knows who else. Thiago Silva header 3-0. Don, what you saying?
oh man, this is so annoying because Arsenal right now are leaking goals, and I was actually more wary of them when we played them at the Bridge in comparison to playing them now. As mad as that sounds, like they were playing a lot better then than what they are now. They're on terrible form, but we're Cherry FC, you know. Brentford weren't on the greatest form. They came over to the Bridge, smoked us 2-0. So Arsenal, as much as they're leaking goals, I just don't know where the goals are coming from because I don't trust who he's going to put out there. I'm just going to say, man, I'm going to say 2-1. 2-1 to Arsenal. I think
The thing is, Arsenal always turn up against us. There's one team that they don't need much to just turn up against us. They just want to, they do. I don't know how, but Dan, what are you saying?
Let me go positive, man. 1-1 Chelsea. 1-1.
Yeah, that's true. He goes, James been waiting for a screamer from Enzo since Jan. All we got is screams of horror from the family. Fucking true, mate. True.
I think there could be a chance. There could be a slight chance because we've been in horrible form and Arsenal have had really good form against us. They come into this game a little arrogant, and you know, and we take advantage of that. That's just a little hope. Apart from that, they might gift us something, right? They might not be concentrated. Things is an easy game. Chelsea are shit. They're fucking 12th, and we beat them all the time. And let corner kick go in or something, and that gives us confidence. So I'll just, I'll say 1-1 Chelsea. 2-1 Chelsea.
Oh, there you go. A bit of confidence there. Declared
2-1 Chelsea. Dan, I want to know who do you think's going to score?
I think Badiashile.
Wait, who?
I'm surprised if he even starts.
Badiashile and Aspie. I'm telling you right now, corners.
Who?
Badiashile and Aspie.
Oh, I thought you said Ake. I was thinking, what? Aspilicueta. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, man.
I don't want to see this guy.
A 30-yard screamer volley like he did against Leicester back in 2000.
He runs around, takes his shot off, shows his badge.
Aspie, man.
What are you saying, Declared?
This is your chance, Aspie.
I'm having trouble seeing even a draw.
Yeah, I know.
I think this is going to be embarrassing, to be honest. It's going to be a hard watch. 3-0 Arsenal.
I'm telling you now, if I see Conor Gallagher and fucking one other striker up front, I'm not watching it. I'm not putting myself through that.
I got to wake up 5 a.m. for this game, so
just go to sleep.
Go sleep.
Well, this is the thing. I got a mate that is a good Arsenal fan. We usually watch the games together. He thinks we're going to turn up, and I think we're going to cop a thrashing. So I got a bet on Arsenal, and he's got a bet on Chelsea. Then, so
Chelsea.
That's
yeah, we'll see. Who
that's
knows?
the mindset.
Hassan, what are you saying?
Hey, listen, all I'm gonna say is this one, just for the timeline to explode. 1-1, Jorginho, Pen, and Aubameyang equalizer. That's what's gonna happen.
Shit.
Jorginho.
Do you guys think that could
bro, the
happen?
timeline's
Aubameyang
gonna
play and
run.
Jorginho play? Do you guys think that could happen? They start.
Mate, I'm just glad that he went to Arsenal and they bottled the league because he thought he'd get a cheap way of getting the Premier League.
I just want the timeline to melt.
See you later.
Man. Yeah, man. Declare. Why? I don't know, man. But like, why do you think we're going to
negative?
Because everyone's got this narrative, right? That Chelsea are just going to get battered. But we've actually, as much as we're not picking up wins, we're the third. We've got the third best defensive record in the league.
I think that's going to change.
So it's damage control. What are you trying to say? The matches. We're not going to get battered, but it's damage control.
Don't say we're defensively good.
But the 20th worst attack in the league.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what our big problem is.
And Don, I think that's going to change too. I think till the fixtures, till we verse, like after this game, and when we verse Man City, even Newcastle, I think we're going to ship quite a few goals, and I don't think we're going to be third anymore.
Yeah, but declared, I don't know, man, because we only lost by a goal to Wolves. We lost by 2 goals to Brentford. We're not getting
So we
smoked.
lose.
Like,
So we lose 3 tonight.
Even if the
Maybe
defense
5
plays
to
well,
Man City.
even if the defense plays well, we can't score, bro.
I know that, but what? Yeah, I know we can't score. But what I'm saying is, I just don't see Arsenal smoking us. I see them beating us, yeah, but I don't see them putting 5-6 past us. I just don't
I
see
can't be
it.
watching Saka. Absolutely,
It could crumble. I hope we can hold out, and maybe it's 1-0 for the most part, and then like at the end we give up again, kind of thing, and not like, you know, if it's too early goals or something like that, it could be a really bad scoreline.
Just a little heads up as well. Enzo Fernandez had the best stats of any player on the pitch against a game that I didn't watch on the weekend against Brentford, even though we lost 2-0. But yeah, we moved.
If we start Aspi, yeah, if we start Aspi, then we're getting smoked. Yeah, remember I said that, guys.
Smash the like, subscribe to the channel. Big up to every single one of you guys. We'll be back again tomorrow. Probably, I ain't gonna be moaning no more. I'm too dried up, but maybe moaning.
Whenever Jem's not sober.
maybe a win, whatever. We'll talk about it. Let's see what happens. See you tomorrow, guys. Big up to everyone that was here today as well. Peace, everyone.
Big up.